Welcome. In this video, we're going to go over Regents problems that are about factoring polynomials. So we just finished our mock exams, and this was the first question on the mock Regents, which was an actual Regents. So as we progress through the remainder of the year, we're going to work through each of the different types of problems on that Regents. So we're just going to start with problem 1, which is factoring polynomials. So I've got an example problem, and I've got the steps for success. So the first thing we're going to do on any question is we're going to understand the question. You got to read it and understand what it's asking you to do. So this is saying which of these expressions is equivalent, meaning the same as that. Okay? You have many ways you could go about this, but no matter what, once we've understood the question, I need to figure out which of these is the same as what they gave me. We need to pick a strategy. So you could factor it, that's a valid strategy, but the strategy I'm going to teach you is the substitution strategy, because you'll notice that each of them has x, okay? So we're going to pick an x value to try and substitute, but we need to pick an x value that will work. So what does that mean? Well, we have to avoid the roots, or also known as the zeros, meaning I don't want to pick x equals -5, okay? Because that's going to make, if I use x equals -5, I'm going to get a 0, and that's what I mean. You want to avoid those numbers. So how do you pick x values that work? Well, you're going to look and avoid the 0. So I'm going to avoid the opposite of 5. I'm going to avoid the opposite of -1. Right? I'm not going to use 1. I'm not going to use -8. I'm not going to use -2. I'm not going to use +2. I'm not going to use -4. And you know what? I'm probably not going to use, I don't know. A safe one I could use is 5, because, right, it's the opposite of that. 5 would be good. You know what's one I could use? 6. I don't even see a 6 here, so I'm going to pick 6. That's going to be the x value that works for me. So I'm going to clean up my work, because that brings us to the next step, which is we're going to eliminate wrong answers, but we're going to show all work on scrap paper. So this is the start of that step, where I've identified the x I'm going to use, and now I'm going to actually do the math. I'm going to put in 6 for each of these x values, and I'm going to figure out that when I use x equals 6, what is the output? What is the thing I'm looking for these to give me the same thing? Because that's the trick. That's how I'm going to find it equivalent. So I'm just going to type in with my calculator 6 plus 3, because I've used 6 as my x value, plus 4, and then 6 plus 3, and then subtract 5. All right. Turns out I'm trying to get 112. I'm looking for the thing that's going to give me 112. Okay? I don't think it's answer choice 1, because if I do that, 6 plus 5, close it, open it, 6 minus 1, I don't think I'm going to get 112. Yeah, right? Because 6 plus 5 is 11. This is multiplication, and 6 minus 1 is 5. 55. So do you see how I can say, well, answer choice 1 isn't correct? I have a hunch. I think it's 2, because those are big numbers. So that would be 6 plus 8 and 6 plus 2. So you could just type it in. But I know that that's 14 and that's 8. And yeah, that was the 112. So I found my answer. It's answer choice 2, right? That first one was 55. Now, if you're feeling spicy, be safe. Take it slow. Double check. Okay? you have the luxury of extended time, and there's no reason you should give up problems like these. These are problems that are very doable, very solvable. You want to be sure that you've got the right answer. How can you be sure? Eliminate all the ones that are wrong. So I'm going to go through, and I'm just going to verify that for the next one, right, 4 and 10, right, 4 and 10 is 40, but I'm in no rush. Just type it out. I know that 6 minus 2 is 4, and I know 6 plus 4 is 10, and I know that's 4 times 10, that's 40. But look, hey, that's not right, because I was looking for 12, right? That's coming back to showing all work, right? Nice and neat. And then here's the one that you might have been a little confused about, but look, we said x is 6, so anytime you substitute, use parentheses, plus 4 parentheses 6, because we're substituting in an x, and then plus 16. And you'll see it's not 112. Okay? So that's going to wrap up the model for all of today's practice problems. And if you don't finish all of the problems on today's worksheet, that's fine. Take your time. I'm looking for quality, not quantity. So thank you.